Hey guys, thanks for joining us back on Couchside. And the story this week is that, hey, automation! It's exploding in the world and the workplace, and we got Gerald bringing you the full scoop right now.
Yeah, you joke now until your job's replaced by a robot. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So, yeah, we're talking about automation in the workplace, and this is something that, hits a little home for me. I work in the IT world, so I kind of get to see technology as it comes out for the most part, I think, honestly, at least on the telecommunications side. But I'm big into like robots and just like all things technology. And one thing that I keep seeing on my news feeds, one thing I keep seeing all over the internet is the threat of automation. And they kind of broadcast it as this threat that within 20 years, 47% of jobs will be replaced by a robot or some type of AI.
I'm not totally sure I'm buying it, but what I will say is that over the long term, there have been talks about, okay, a lot of jobs are going to get taken over by robots, possibly even all of them at some point, virtually all of them. Yeah. And if you ever get to that point in society, then you have to start rethinking about how people get money, because you still have to have an economy, and if no one needs to work, then what do? Do you assign everyone their own personal robot that does the work for them? I mean, you got to come up with something creative.
Well, think about it like this. Let's look at our beautiful director behind the scenes, just on his smartphone here. You can do everything on your smartphone now, and that's an AI or form of AI in itself. I mean, he's probably just on Facebook, just checking his status. Probably can get on Tinder, look for a date. There's so many things you can do on the cell phone. What's to say that your cell phone can't do your taxes? Oh wait, it already is. What's to say that your cell phone can't, or your smart AI can't fix your cable internet? Oh yeah, that's right. At Verizon, there is the MyFios app. Comcast has their own version of it, where literally it does everything. Your phone technician, that guy that you call to fix your internet, you can do that straight from your phone now. That's only the beginning though. And here's the thing. As humans become more dependent on technology externally, it's only going to lead to a more internal dependency. And I'm talking about implants and even prosthetics even now. Look at prosthetics for what they are.
Well, and I have seen some prototypes for what essentially is kind of similar to like what the synths are in Fallout 4, if anyone plays that game. Like, they're starting to make robots that like have what appears like human skin on them and like act like humans. So it's not inconceivable that 15, 30 years down the road, however long it is, that maybe your local bartender is no longer a person, but just some robot that looks like a person.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching this show actually on Nat Geo, and that's really where I was like, no, we got to talk about this. It's called Year Million, actually. If you guys want to check it out, like we can put the link down below. But yeah, they were pretty much talking about just the advances in technology, and there was this one segment, and these were Japanese developers, and it had a robot. Honestly, if you were probably standing 15 feet away from it and weren't really paying too much attention, you'd believe it was a human. And that's what's scary, that they will eventually look like us. And it leads so many questions. Again, and we'll start with point number one. What are we going to do for money? If 48% of Americans lose their jobs to AI, and we're talking even like, let's talk about even truck drivers, Elon Musk pushed the idea for having automated, trucks driving on our highways. It's a big industry in America, believe it or not. Truck driving is a huge industry. And if you take that job, a very well-paying, middle-class job, away from that many Americans, what is our economy going to look like?
Well, I think it all depends on how many people really are losing their jobs. Because if it truly is half the country, I mean, at that point, you definitely do need to come up with either a solution where, people are assigned robots that earn them the money, or you do some kind of universal or basic income where everyone gets a a base level of money just for doing nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy to think about something like that flying in America with how conservative things are looking. But...
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's like, well, why would they take our jobs? You know, I mean, people are running out to the polls trying to vote whoever in because they're worried about immigrants taking their jobs. So let alone a robot with no feelings. And that's the scary thing about AI when you really think about it, the grand scheme of things. What's a machine? A machine works all the time. Your router works all the time. Your cell phone's always on. A robot doesn't need pay, doesn't need lunch breaks, doesn't need to go to the bathroom. And for all extensive purposes, as long as it has a battery pack, it never needs a day off.
And we're already seeing this to a small degree because the most obvious example to me is the grocery store self-checkout. Mm-hmm. How many cashiers have lost their jobs to that?
Yeah.
And you also see like the kiosks in Royal Farms and some other convenience stores like that.
The kiosks in Fed Hill, actually. There's a CVS in Fed Hill, and primarily there's a desk for customer service, but all of the cashiers are robots. They're self-checkouts. It's in Fed. I don't know if you've seen that.
I'm honestly surprised that the kiosk model has not already been far expanded into the Burger Kings, the McDonald's, and all the other fast food restaurants, because I see that as a big potential savings for those companies. And I would not be surprised if, soon enough you see McDonald's with less cash, people working the cash register and taking your order, and more of that just done on a kiosk.
Well, I mean, go to Royal Farms, Sheetz, or, even Wawa. Where do you order your food from? You order your food from a machine. What's to put a credit card slider on that machine? You order this perfect sandwich. It's cooked by a human. Who knows how much longer that may last? Another 100 years. But, you can order food from a machine. You can put your card on there and slide it and be nothing at all.
What's even crazier, I believe I heard a story a while back about, I think it's something Amazon was doing. Amazon was developing some type of store where there's no people in it at all. It's like you go in and it'll recognize you have a card, and then you walk out and just makes your card pay for whatever you got.
Whoa.
We could be going in that kind of direction.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you look at certain movies, and I always say with sci-fi movies, there's always something to them. People just don't randomly think of these vast ideas. I mean, yeah, of course they do artist creativity, but there's some type of inspiration for this. Look at iRobot, one of the greatest movies when you're talking about AI, honestly. Or the movie AI, where literally a child, you have an artificial child. I mean, we're not too far away from something like that happening, where people have their own personal robot butlers. But my thing is, again, when you start talking, I've seen multiple articles about this 47 to 48%. And when I think about it, again, what are all these people going to do? And it leads me to think, again, here at LitTube, we love sci-fi. There's a show called The Expanse on Sci-Fi, actually. One of the best sci-fi shows I've seen since Battlestar Galactica. And I will review that on the website, Trust and Believe. But there was a story, there was actually a conversation with a Martian colonist, and she was talking to top-ranking Earth official, and the Earth official was like, what do you think, on Mars, you guys have it so great. You people have dreams. You guys have, dreams for a better world. On Earth, no one works because there's no jobs. So what are they all, and if you read the books, you find out they're all on this thing called basic, where it's literally like bare minimum of food and money, and I don't think, at least in the near future, it'll be that severe where people are literally starving as top 1-2% or just living this illustrious life. But I mean, that could be a possibility, honestly.
No, I mean, again, I don't see. I could be wrong, but I don't see all this losing jobs to robots to that drastic of an extent.
I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime, but give it 300, 400 years. Who's to say?
Well,
people didn't think that agriculture would go the route it did. Look at the textile industry. Look at that. When the Industrial Revolution happened and they had machines to do the jobs that humans did, farming took off. Farming was done differently. The way in general industry works now, especially at the turn of the 1900s. People in the century and 18th century had no idea what was coming with the machine industry.
Well, you know what I actually am predicting is going to come out within our lifetime?
What?
You think about how far medicine technology, healthcare technology has expanded so rapidly. And I just see a point at some point, maybe we're going to be super old when this happens, but I see implants for the rich to increase their lifespan. Think about it. You know, it's not inconceivable. You get something that's, implanted into you, it costs a lot of money, but it stops your cells from dying or something like that. I would not be surprised if something like that comes out, but they just limited it to only the richest people being able to get it.
Wouldn't be surprised if that happening, honestly. And even more, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that probably happened probably after our lifetime. I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen before we died. But I think in our lifetime, we are really going to see advances in medicine. Look at surgeries. Surgeries are done by machines here and there, not everywhere, but machines, these computer programs, of course, ran by a doctor, are doing these surgeries, and they're doing them millions of times perfectly. There's no human error in this, and I think that's the thing. I'm terrified of this because I do work in the IT field, and I always live by this, you know, this motto: you either educate yourself to the point where you control the machine, or you get phased out.
Well, there's always going to be so many unknowns with technology. One of the things I also think about is, like, what if, like, one day, like, the internet just, like, shuts down? Like, someone just figures out some, like, super virus and, like, shuts it down, you know? Like, there's, like, endless possibilities of what could happen in the technological realm. And, like, again, like, I think if you're one of those people that works in cybersecurity and you have to, like, monitor those kind of issues, like, the problems could be, like, coming out faster than you keep up with them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially when it gets to a point where, you know, the machines are learning how to think. And, you know, I mean, look at The Matrix, for example. Again, there's so many sci-fi references in this show. But think about the machines learning how to learn, essentially. Where they can learn new things, learn how to adapt, learn how to get better. Eventually, there will become this singularity where there are more machines than there are humans, where literally we are the...
And you got to look out for a Terminator scenario.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen. Do I think it will happen? Probably not like that. I would more expect the fact that humans, again, with how dependent we are externally on technology, smartphones, tablets, devices, we're all linked up. Everybody's so linked. I wouldn't be surprised if implant technology and things along those lines that make human less organic and more mechanic happens in the future.
And the one other thing I want to talk about related to automation in society and how that's going to expand going forward, I could see that happening with the way war is waged in this world. You think about, like, in the future, it may not be boots on the ground. It may just be, okay, whichever country has more money and can have more robots to attack the other country. You know, like, I mean,
look at it for what it is. We have drones. Our Air Force, I mean, how many attacks, especially in the last 8 years, militaristically, were done with drones, robots. I mean, I read reports, actually, you know, stories that people in the Middle East, especially like Pakistan and like the far reach regions of Afghanistan, were literally scared of sunny days. You know, where we love sunny days. You know, when it's sunny at 7 degrees, that's beautiful. The sunny days over there meant you couldn't see a drone coming. That's the world they live in over there. And that could be the world of the future where these wars are waged with the drones, these robots. I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Yeah, but going back to our original topic, I mean, when it comes to, you know, unemployment as a result of this, I mean, let's say it actually does happen, right? That 50% unemployment in the United States. What do you think those people end up doing if there is no, like, income alternative for them? Like, is it just going to turn into a Great Depression scenario? Are there going to be riots, terrorism? Like, what happens as a result of that?
I'd like to believe that maybe, just maybe, by the time we get to that point where we have to start worrying about vast unemployment, we get to a point where maybe it's a different world. I mean, when you think about automation and stuff, I mean, that does open up new industries, like the Industrial Revolution. When that happened, new industries opened up, new ways for people to work. So there could be new jobs. Maybe 47 is a doomsday type number that will never happen. I do think a vast amount of jobs, like you said, in the next 10, 20 years, probably will go to some type of AI. I don't think it would be uncommon You're taking your future kid to McDonald's to get a freaking Happy Meal, and they're talking to a machine rather than a human. I would not be surprised. Or maybe there won't be call centers like the one I work in to fix, you know, everyday cable or internet issues. Maybe it'll be you picking up your phone. It'll be a common use thing, picking up your phone and just using the app and the TV to fix the issue in your house.
Well, there's so many jobs that you would think, yeah, there's a way to replace this with a robot. Yeah. But people do put a premium on like having that human interaction, customer service as well.
I get that all the time. People call into my office and they're like, you know, we don't want to talk to a machine. We want to talk to him. And I think you'll never fully lose the human aspect. I don't think that human element will ever truly go away. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think every job's going to get, you know, changed. I hope, you know, that maybe it'll be this beautiful cohesion where humans have more time to live than to work. Where it's like maybe they'll figure out a way to work this economy that there's more time for leisurely things, more time for fun and adventure, and less time sitting behind a desk because we have a machine to do it. You know, maybe every human will have their own machine. I don't know.
We can only hope, man.
We can only hope.
I mean,
because I'm telling you, if I don't have to go to work every day and I could just have a machine do my job and still get paid my salary, heck, I'd love it.
Yeah. In this country in particular,
yeah, we
get like the least vacation time out of anywhere in this world. It's a shame.
That could be another episode. Maybe when we do that episode later on this time, talking about vacation time.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this Couchside automation special. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and check out some of our other blogs and Patreon. We got all the links in the description.
And we got merch coming soon. Just letting that one out there. Take care. Welcome to this week's episode of Couchside. My name is Gerald and this is Justin. And tonight, you come in. I'm not good at this. Like, this is you. Just.
Alright, I'll do it.
Just do the intro. I'll talk.
God. So this is